This comes from Nelson. How can an intellectual fighter best manage their time with other values in life? Professional, career, relationships, hobbies, leisure, art, pets, etc. I suppose I'm in the hunt for intellectual fighter time management hacks. Haha. So, I can give you the basic answer, which is basically you define your hierarchy of values and you act accordingly. Your hierarchy of values is essentially a time hierarchy of what deserves most time. But if you're really asking about time management in the sense of optimizing how you spend your time, I am frankly the last person to ask, because the truth is I don't try to optimize my time. So, it's always dangerous to divide the world into two categories, but like I think some people are kind of systematizers and optimizers. And if you're one of those people, like I highly recommend listening to Alex Epstein's Human Flourishing Project. And I love listening to optimizers because, it gives me a bunch of ideas and things I like to try. But at a certain point, I realize like that is not how I am, and that's not how I want to be. Like to me, it completely sounds miserable to be trying to eke like every last, ounce of efficiency out of your life. And I know it's not experienced that way by optimizers, but it definitely is for me. And so if you want me to put it as provocatively as possible, my approach to life is to maximize whim worship. All right. So I'm mostly joking about that, but I'm kind of not joking. Like I try to be extremely rational at the level of values and virtues and ideas. But when it comes to like how I spend my day, my ideal that I'm striving for is really to do like whatever I want to do in the moment. So I think of three considerations when I approach my day. One is things I have to do. Two is things I want to do. And three is things I have the energy to do. So my approach to life really consists of trying to get rid of as many things as I have to do as possible, either by, cutting them out of life or by delegating them. And if I can't get rid of them, then like I either try to get them out of the way as quickly as possible or I procrastinate as long as possible. And like if you asked me, well, what's your system for deciding when to do which? It's basically whatever approach seems to help me spend the most time doing the things I want to do. And that really leads me to energy, which is like central to the extent that I'm like planning out my days or structuring my days. This is really the key to how I think about it. So first of all, I wake up between 4:30 and 5:30 a.m. and my first 2 to 4 hours are really my peak creative hours. And by 2 p.m., I'm totally spent in terms of creativity and willpower. And so what I try to do is I use at least those first 2 hours for my favorite, most enjoyable, most creative projects, which gets me out of bed, gets me excited about the day, and allows me to make progress on the things that matter most to me. And then I have some kind of morning stuff I have to do to take care of the kids and whatever, but, showering and so on. But 9 to 12, this is really where I'm going to do any stuff that I have to do that requires creative mental focus, but which isn't like super pleasurable or just, super engaging. And if I don't have any of that, even better, then I can just keep going on creative, enjoyable tasks. Then from like 12 to 2, and none of this is carved in stone. This is just sort of like rules of thumb that I try to go by. From 12 to 2, hopefully I'm able to like return to some more creative, enjoyable tasks. But by 2, usually I am burnt out regardless of how much fun a creative, effortful task is. And there have been exceptions. I mean, there's been times, particularly when I'm writing like a book or an article, or even better, editing those, when I can go for just like all day until night and it's hard to pull me away. But as a generality, no, by 2, I'm done. And so then what I like to do is use that 2 to 5 period for things that don't require a lot of energy or creativity. So this is like meetings, answering emails, any chores or things I've been procrastinating on and letting pile up. And then in the evenings, it's honestly just a complete crapshoot. Like I'll have family time, or I'll read sometimes, or I'll listen to podcasts or talk to friends. But like I'm honestly totally okay with just wasting time watching YouTube videos. Like, so that's my actual day in most cases. But like really my ideal day would be waking up, working on one long-term creative project that I'm obsessed about until I run out of energy, and then hanging out with friends and family talking about ideas and like having amazing food and drinks, or like going to a baseball game. That is utopia for me. And like, if when I talk about like I want to be successful, there's many things where I do feel successful already, but that's the real gold mine. Like if I can get where 75% of my days are one project I'm really excited about, and then friends and family, that's really what life is about. I don't care about money. I don't care about any of that stuff, except like insofar as it aids me getting to that point. But here's the main thing I want to underline. If I make progress on a meaningful, creative, long-term project in those first 2 to 4 hours of the day, then I am happy with the day. And I don't judge myself at all for how I spend the rest of the day. Like, my attitude is I earn the right to do whatever the hell else I want to do, whatever I feel like doing. And if that means watching baseball or frittering away, time on social media, like that is fine. So if you're an optimizer, like that's awesome. But what I want to discourage this idea that you have some duty to like make the best use of your time, and you should feel guilty for not being able to impose some rigid structure or schedule on yourself. Like, no, your life really does belong to you. And, Ayn Rand used to quote this idea of God said, take what you want and pay for it. And you can take that too subjectively, but you can take it not subjectively enough, if you want to put it that way. That it really is, what do you want out of life? And then you bear the consequences for that. But you don't have to answer to anyone, including like, this image of yourself as like this ideal, productive person or something like that. And so, I don't worry about optimizing. I worry about enjoying. And part of what I enjoy is just not being too rigid about my approach to the day-to-day. But as you'll see, it's not literally whim worship in the sense of there is a core structure there. There is priorities that I'm setting according to my hierarchy of values. But within there, I'm being very free form and in the moment.